God.
Onto the Culverin. The Culverin is almost done, and we can see the Cuirassiers are gonna commit into the fray. Can they swing? Yes, they swing, and that's the problem with Cuirassiers. When they start swinging, it's big numbers going up, and we can see more Cuirassiers coming at the top, 4 more, and that's gonna be a cleanup here.
Still alive, wailing away on the Janissers, and the frigate is alive.
Frigate
Reinforcing fire, and there's no 3 galleys on the way from Julian. Is it being sent right now? He's got to get these out. There they are. The 3 galleys are going to deal with this.
6 Canyon from the Warheart as well. They're just tanking Tomahawk Big Bus and being caught. This is a massive cleanup here for Ace.
For Ace.
Yeah, this is dire from the. He's just lost his entire army.
Problem here. Going to be a huge problem to deal with. Just like the Mavericks, they're tanking so much damage, and they're dealing so much damage. On top of this, Janissary is moving forward, and look at all of that blue. Just the sea of blue there, dealing damage. It's finally the last spy goes down, but was it too much to deal with? Has he done too much damage? Come on back as well. I'm really slaughtering the rocks as well. Oh my god, there's so many plus 10s. The Urumi are still there. Mahouts, so many of them. They do so much area of effect, and all the
They've been focused.
are about to go down.
The Yumi's been focused down really well, actually. However, the rest of the Mahouts down. It's just skirmishes underneath, and what a trade. XP in the way for India. Intervention coming behind. Most likely Britta Musks. Yes.
Let's go. Hey. Oh my goodness me. Clean up an aisle too.
5 Red Bulls are also coming in from the consulate, but I doubt that's going to be enough to deal with this whole mass of skirmishers, gendarme, war elephants, and dragoons. But
if that's not an overclock, then I don't know what is.
No, oh my god, these bombards taking shots on these dots, and you know, these dots are not going to survive the field. They're just going to try and take as much HP off of these bombards as possible, and oh my god, only 1 bombard goes down.
It's taken us 20 minutes to get here, but this is what we came for, baby. This is what we came for. Let's take down 2 bombards.
3 bombards still alive, but a surround trying to come in from Ace right now. Ulans are running away, and the bombards are focusing on the skirmishers right now. Let's see these big shots coming in. Oof, okay. That wasn't as big as I expected, probably because there's Jaegers there and they have more HP than regular skirmishers. The Culverins, oh my god, that shot was humongous right there. And yes,
is pushing out way too far here. The Expos are on the other side of the trading post, and the Axis have now snared on top with the clubs behind, and more clubs popping out of the double war huts. The Seton bows are firing heavily onto the Apache cavalry, and the bows are just getting absolutely melted here. The Ulans are trying their best to...
That's going to be a massacre for sure. We can see the heavy cannon starting to shoot, and it's going to be plus 10s everywhere. It needs to kite a little bit with both sides of death. Make sure that they are not the one taking though. The force cannons are going to keep breaking some damage behind these. All of the revolutionaries. Wait, Chinese. Oh, that was a good connect right there. That's the game right there. Big cannon shot. But we can see Rattan shields behind popping from that village that was placed earlier. And that's going to be 2 heavy cannons down, very likely. First heavy cannon is going to go down. Can the Rattan shield get the second one? Those fishing boats, they're going to have to go down. He needs... What? Broadside onto the Culverin. The Culverin is almost done, and we can see the Cuirassiers are going to commit into the fray. Can they swing? Yes, they swing. And that...
Online a bit later, and I stopped playing probably around 2013, 2014, and then came back about a year before DE and started playing again, and then obviously DE launched, and I was just, yeah, I've not looked back since.
Nice. Are we live? Sweet. We're live, and we didn't say anything embarrassing while we were being recorded live. Look at us go.
Oh, yeah, oh, thank God we weren't talking about that. The dick size conversation was a couple of minutes ago, thank God.
Yeah, that was a short one, though. Just like yours.
Hey, I was going to say, yeah, your dick is massive. Mine's tiny, a little bit embarrassed.
Well, if I had a bigger webcam, we would have been able to see more, but only so much. So who's playing today, Line?
Tabben and Conqueror.
Oh, nice.
Well.
Look what the cat dragged in.
Who comes crawling in? I've only got one thing to say. Well, 2 things to say. Mr. V, you're looking beautiful as always. Light up. Turn off that green screen, you wet wipe.
Green screen.
Green screen.
Like you can't see how messy my room is then.
Oh, man.
We need to see that flag, man. Yeah, a viewer bought that flag for you. every time you're
No,
showing
it's my
green
friend
screen,
bought it for
you're
me.
mugging him off. You're mugging him off.
It was one of my best mates bought it for me, actually.
Oh, friend! Oh, when best friend!
I know having IRL friends in Age of Empires 3 is a rarity, but it does happen, believe it or not.
Oh, and they say us Americans fight a lot, man. I got nothing on you guys.
When Americans fight, they pull out guns and it's over in like 5 seconds. When Brits fight, it's slaps, it's sarcastic comments, it's little nitpicky things.
Do you guys
and then next
still
day we're
resort
best
to
friends.
do you still resort to the leather gloves? Is that still a thing? You slap each other? Challenge you to a duel, sir. Or is that not a thing anymore?
No, that's only what
We
Limelight
tried that
does.
when we went over to you, but yeah.
Yeah, wow. Sorry.
About it, really. Banter aside.
You gonna stay
man.
for the duration, Harrison?
I do have a uncle auntie down from Lancashire, so
Lancashire?
out
That's
from
a bit
Mills.
north, isn't it? You got northern family?
Unfortunately, they were
Mr. Southern boy.
They were
Little Southern fairy.
They were Southern family, but they moved north for some unholy reason.
I bet Lancashire is gorgeous.
It's
Big
quite
fun,
nice,
that,
actually. Yeah, it's quite nice. Yeah, so maybe Tabben Conqueror. That's a series. Tom versus Keturboy. Actually, Keturboy relatively unknown, but probably the stronger player in that matchup. That could actually be really, really close because maybe I'm over racing Keto just slightly there. You know what? You could be casting for 5 hours straight here because of 2 7-game series back to back. Just saying. Who knows?
Well, Lion, tell me what you were saying about Conqueror, because it looks like we are going to dive into game 1, which is in India Mirror, on the map Unknown, I believe. And you were talking about Conqueror and how he could be a potential sleeper in this tourney. Tell the rest of the people about that.
Conqueror is actually a really good player. See you later, Harrison. Nice of you to say bye. Just goes out of that. Yeah, I was just saying, and this is we're on Unknown, and so we'll get onto the map in a second. But what I was saying is Conqueror is definitely a potential dark horse in this series because Conqueror is a very good player. He's just one of those legacy players that I don't think really adapted to DE as well as he could have done, or as well as other players have. So he's got that legacy skill, which the Age 2 kind of design format, if you will, of this tournament will probably actually really, really help him. So, looking forward to that. We've got it's running on slow mode. I think I know we got big production, Unstoppable Streletsy behind the scenes here. There was a way to, that's it, the frame rate, wasn't it? Let's hope that resolves it. Yeah,
this guy's a pro. This guy's a pro.
Yeah. That's it. So basically what I was saying is Conqueror, I honestly think could be a dark horse in this race. However, Tabben is one of the best players in the game. So regardless if he's going to be a dark horse or not, he's still potentially playing one of the people that can definitely win this tournament. So, but saying that, I think it's still going to be a close one.
Yeah, I mean, Tabben did make it to the round of 8 in the Autumn Championships, only lost to Kaiser Klein. And so I agree with what you're saying when you say that, Conqueror definitely has his work cut out for him, going to be facing a strong player. I love the choice for an India here, Mir, by both players. I think India, a really strong Age 2 Civ. They have a diverse range of units. They can make Age 2 Dragoons, Age 2 Skirmishers, Age 2 Heavy Cav, Age 2 Musketeers. Is there anything India really is missing in Age 2, or do they have the full package?
I think they have the full package. What are they missing? I mean, one of India's best features in Supremacy is their Age 3 shipments. Like they have like cheat codes for some of their shipments, like 2 free Mahouts, the Urumi pop, the siege elephants, and things like that. That is generally their secret weapon. However, because it's in a mirror, that's not going to matter too much, and because no one can go above Age 2. That's where India struggles. So it's a little bit of a shame we're seeing India in a mirror here because India are they're a decent civ in the civ pool, but they're around the middle list of the tiers. You know, they're not great, but they're not bad. So H2 format will suit India. That would definitely suit India because they are a scaling civ and they struggle often against like, you know, the 2 Falconet kind of really fast FF stuff. So taking that out of the equation, India are actually going to be a really decent civ because they've, again, like I said, they're that scaling civ, and they'll actually be really good on this map. Can we just have a look at this map because we've got the train line.
It is a beautiful map.
It is. So I presume that the stagecoach has already been upgraded. It's automatically upgraded twice, I presume. So if we can have a quick look at the TPs, can we see how much XP the TPs are generating? Because I'm getting like a Great Lakes vibe from this. I don't know if you played that legacy map, Great Lakes, but it had that huge circular. Look at that, 206 XP. Absolutely huge amount of XP. Because it's a train line, it comes round relatively quickly. So that is unbelievably huge. Like I was saying, India scaling civ, they get a free villager with each shipment. So the more shipments, the higher their eco is going to go.
And
so
are there animals? Are there wild animals on this map as well? Because that would just make the XP trickle from India even more insane.
There is, yeah.
Oh my God, there's cows on this map too. Jesus.
Yeah,
that's gonna be so much XP, Lion.
It is. Just one thing before we continue. Streletsy, are we supposed to be watching from your Discord, or are we just gonna? I don't know if there was a thing, or are we just gonna watch from the stream?
Perfect.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just because I'm concerned that we'll be like a few seconds behind because that's happened before. So whilst that happens, one thing to note, Conqueror, I like in a mirror match, you know, like the general rule in any mirror match of this game is you want to be the greedier player, okay?
Right. Because
that generally is how it works. I know it's kind of the meta. That's always been the rule of thumb. However, we see here an Agrifort instead of a kind of economy like Carney Martyr type build here. And the only reason I can think he's doing that is because we've got that potential water play in the middle of the map, and he wants that Agrifort to kind of control the water and any kind of attacking boats coming in here. And we do see the dock go down. So Conqueror right now, it's 4 minutes 15, and he's already putting a dock down. So he's going for the water boom. It can be interesting to see what Tabben does. Oh, sorry, no, this is Tabben we're talking about. So Tabben already going for the water boom. Can we see if we go down south a little bit and just see if there's any dock or anything like that from Conqueror?
No dock at all from the looks of it.
But he's gone for the Carney Martyr, like I was saying. So he's thinking he's being the greedier player here, but in actual fact, Tabben is the one that is taking map control of the water, and so his scaling is going to be harder. So we'll see if Conqueror is going to be able to adapt to that and scout that dock early. It's going to be really important that he scouts that dock.
Well, another economic bonus to point out is on this map, I don't know if it spawns on both sides, but Conqueror did pick up a 10% wood gathering treasure. And I don't know if that spawns on both sides, that should neutralize. But if it's not, and that's just exclusive to Conqueror, especially playing as India, that 10% wood gathering upgrade is going to be a huge bonus when we talk about building up those early game economies.
Definitely. I did see. Can we have a look at the decks real quick? Because I did actually see. Oh wow, is that a boat already? Is that a? I think that's a caravel out already. I did see. Yeah. Can you? I can't remember what it's called. The Age 1 card in the middle of the deck that he just sent there. What's it called? If you can hover over it, there we go. Good faith agreements, that's great. So we see Conqueror has shipped good faith agreements. I like that because there's so much potential with the consulate, and we talk about playing greedy. He's going super greedy with the consulate. So let's have a look, see what he's made from the consulate. So that's 2 shipments in Age 1, but we saw the amount of XP that the TP is generating, so he can 100% get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the amount of shipments he's gotten out. It's not even the 6-minute mark, and he's already sent 4 shipments. He's sent both logging upgrades. He has sent the what is that consulate shipment that everybody sends? The one with the wine glasses clinking together.
Oh, the 300 export card.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the amount you can spend in such a short, limited time on this map is, I'm still just blown away by the amount of XP that both guys are getting. But yeah, you are seeing a water boom versus your standard, Carney Mata India boom. And it'll be interesting to see which one is more effective. Right now, I would much rather be on water than just going with the standard Carney Mata, because it also gives you a lot of map control. And if he decides to send a couple of warships to that middle pond, it could really mean that he could take over the sides of the map and just eventually overwhelm Conqueror in his base.
Yeah, Harrison's actually just stolen my thunder because I was waiting to say there that I'm actually really shook that neither of these guys have gone for the TP boom. Like the TP is there to be had. Like it's already been upgraded twice. The Stagecoach and the age 4 upgrade for Stagecoach has been upgraded, and no one's going for the whole TP map. Like they've gone for their safe behind their a TC TP, but they're not going for the TP on the map. And there's 2 extra to be had from either side. And like I said, they don't have to have it on XP. They can put their TPs, I believe. They can put them on any resource they bloody like. And they're deciding not to go for the extra TPs, which is 200 resources per pass. That means that the TP will pay for itself after just 1 pass.
Yeah, and that's 2. Because shipments are 300 XP, right? And so if you get 3 TPs, 600 XP, that's 2 shipments every time the trade route makes a full pass. That's insane.
Yep. But both these guys playing a bit of a stalematy game here. You know, that tends to be the way as well in mirror matches. But yeah, so the scores are pretty close at the moment. They both obviously got their own build orders. Not too much to say right now. I mean, Tabben.
Oh, we have a native post. There's a native post on the right side for Conqueror there.
Oh, yes, we do. Yeah, Conqueror. What native post is that? Can we just double check? House of Hanover. Wow. Okay. That's actually one of the best natives trade posts in the game. There's a couple of reasons why. So the fireworks big button is absolutely insane. For about a second, maybe a second and a half, maybe even less, I'm not really sure. Like every one of your opponent's units inside the area of the big button will be, and you can you can use it anywhere on the map. They'll be stunned for about a second and a half. So it just gives you that huge micro advantage. Secondly, apart from the fact it has a couple of really good techs, the drummer unit, and you can see there, you can build it in age 2. The drummer unit is pretty insane because what that does is that buffs your unit's attack speed. So just having 1 or 2 of them buffs your unit's attack speed, which, you know, especially in mirror matches, can be absolutely huge. Okay, we got a little bit of lag coming on here. That might be the game, though. There we go. Conqueror's actually just gone up by about 3k score. I'm not really sure how that's the case.
Picked off a bill as well.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, he's just all of a sudden 2.5 to 3k score up, which is quite surprising. Going for the Skirm Goon comp, like you were saying earlier, Mr. V, they have every type of unit in H2. That's another really good bonus that India have.
Oh, and look at the amount of SOARs on the map as well for Conqueror. And what does Tabben have? He only has a pile of Gurkhas. Does he have any anti-cav at all?
Doesn't look like it, and that could be a problem. He does have the Agra Fort. He only has the 2 sepoys from the age up from the Agra. That's going for him for the anti-cav. He does have them in him.
Ooh, nice sentry pop.
Rumorlot's coming in though as well, and that could be a nice swing here. It depends.
Yeah.
All depends on how Conqueror, if he can disengage or not, or if he's gonna just think he's got enough to take this.
Yeah, and look at the Zambrax getting caught on the front lines, taking so much melee damage, not able to get back and just use their ranged attack. And now the anti-cav is very quickly disappearing for Conqueror, and those Gurkhas are looking really exposed.
Yeah, the Rumorlot's just not dying. Holy cow. And with that much anti-cav, that is absolutely huge. The Minutemen pop was really, really nice. And honestly, I'm not really sure Conqueror needed to do this. Like, I mean, I guess fine, but going behind your opponent's TC, you're just asking for trouble, aren't you? You know, you're just asking to get caught there. And
look at that swap and score. I mean, Tabben's now up 600 score, and he held while also taking very minimal losses. I mean, at the cost of 2 sentry pops, basically obliterating 2 pops worth of melee cav and a whole bunch of Zambarax. Really good trade for him.
Yeah, definitely. Tabben's played really well here because Conqueror didn't need to take the fight, and there's a horrible spot for him to take the fight, but he can't take a fight anywhere else. He doesn't want to go near the Agra Fort, obviously, and he can't really go near the waterline because there's a couple of boats out for Tabben. So the only option Conquer really has is to go around the outside of the map, which kind of sucks, right? But the game's still not over.
Yeah, can we go to the bottom left of the map? I see another red native post going down, and what natives did he get over there? There it is.
The top. Oh, the Cree. Wow. Okay, I'm actually... and he's going for the one at the top left as well. Again, a Cree settlement on the map. And what's this one? What native post is that? Oh, so he's gone for double Cree. That's actually quite smart because
really good natives on this map. Holy cow.
Yeah, so it looks like there's 2 Hanovers, House of Hanovers, and there's 2 Crees. For some reason, he just deleted that TP. But I actually like that he was building that TP because, one, he can make the Cree CDBs quicker, which is better eco. It also means it denies Tabben the ability to build that TP without sieging it down first. So it denies him the ability to get those CDBs. Again, something else I'm quite shocked about that we haven't seen, especially in the mirror match, someone going for the greedy play here. So those boats now coming in handy, taking a dock down. Now it's Tabben's turn for the counterplay. He's up 2k score. He's taken docks down. He's taken castles down. Now he's losing villagers. This is going to be rough.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really good timing to push here because, you know, Conqueror has been investing a lot in those TPs. That's 200 and 400 wood. Trying to get a dock down, that's another 200. So possibly hasn't been investing in as many military units as he needs. But I like what Tabben's doing here, not rushing in, not being too eager. He doesn't want to end up like Conqueror was just a few minutes ago.
You know what I really like about Unknown? Oh, he's trying to build that dock down. He's trying to be cheeky.
Yeah,
That's
no way.
just not happening, Conqueror. You need to get castles up first. Get castles up before you get the docks down.
What do you like
what
about
I really
Unknown?
What I really like about Unknown, and I've kind of just figured it out, like, every Unknown map, because there's so many of them, it's almost like every Unknown map is going to be different, right? So it's not like we're seeing the same map over and over again. And having Unknown just kind of adds that uncertainty. And it's very difficult to prep for Unknown unless you're one of those team game players that constantly play Unknown. Like, who plays 1v1 Unknown? Like, you never play 1v1 Unknown. So it gives that element of surprise from both sides, which I really, really like. And that then rewards things like potential non-TP civs, if there's no TPs, scouting, the ability to scout, so you scout the map and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I think Unknown, without making the game too unbalanced, I think it adds a kind of a little bit of spice that I think these tournaments can really have. So yeah, just a shout out to the organizers if you're watching. I think this is potentially a really smart idea to include this in future tournaments.
Yeah. I am really nervous for Tabben at this point, or excuse me, Conqueror, because, I mean, the military just looks so in Tabben's favor. And if you're Conqueror here, there's no option to go for an age up. There's no Urami. There's no Mahouts coming to save you. So at this point, what do you do, Lion?
Yeah, I mean, Tabben's just hogging the shoreline, which is really smart play because, one, he has the skirmisher mass supremacy, but he's also just hogging the shoreline because he's got his boats there. So if he ever feels like he's in too much trouble, he can literally just back up right onto the shoreline, and his boats will literally save him. So yeah, he's doing everything right now. He's got the bigger mass as well, and it just doesn't feel like Conqueror has the TC Homer defender's advantage here. Yes, the reinforcements are coming in quicker, but it just doesn't feel like he's got that advantage right now. And yeah, this is just solid play by Tabben.
Yeah, and the fireworks.
I told you.
Oh man. But I mean, did that really do much, or did that just not come at the right time?
It didn't. It was a meme. At that point, it was a meme. Yeah, it was a meme. Like the reason that you send fireworks off for those like big play moments, like let's say there was Spahi coming in, you know, you can use it and then let the Spahi kind of connect, or let the two Falconets connect, you know, and things like that. In this format, it's really not gonna do much, but it's still fun to see. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. And look at that. The boats are just going to make it, it's just going to make it so easy for him to pull out these Gurkha if he doesn't like the fight, but he's got more reinforcing camels on the way. And even with that big pop of Soars, it's just not going to be enough. And I don't know what Conqueror does after this. Probably just GG's?
Yeah, he hits that resign button. There it is. And that's a shame because that Soar kind of mass there was in such a beautiful position. They were spread out perfectly. They were going to maximize the damage. But unfortunately, with the boats backing up, those Soars are just going to get headshotted. But GG, for interesting first round. A little bit of a shame that it was an India mirror, not going to lie. I wish we didn't see an India mirror, but at least we saw a different scenario from either side. Yeah. Conqueror, he just lost the game when he went around his opponent's base, and he was up in score. He didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I love the water play by Tabben, though. I think that was such a smart move on this map. Though, I think if either of them had gone, like you said, for that second or third trading post, could have been a very different game.
Look at the all resources gathered. Holy cow. In a mirror match, that is insane. Jeez. That is insane.
Which is interesting how Conqueror had such a lead when Tabben, I guess you could argue the Carney Mata gave him that, and
Tabben's
water just didn't pay off.
Tabben
That's
didn't
true.
make boats, really, did he? Like, I don't
No,
understand.
he didn't make any fishing boats.
No. But I mean,
Yeah.
he wins, so it was definitely a big throw.
Yeah, fair enough. 128 people in the chat already. Let's go. Thank you, guys. Round of 16 for the ESOC Winter Championships. Tabben versus Conqueror. Tabben currently up 1-0, so we're just getting started, but could be an interesting series. From the looks of it, these guys are sort of on the same level there. I didn't feel like one player was definitely leagues above the other.
Definitely. Well, and like you said, Conqueror threw that game. So, and again, that felt like it was an unknown thing. Like people really like. No one went for the TPs. Like no one. Well, I mean, we saw that earlier has Hanover, but no one went for the CDB, the Cree, which in any supremacy map, you will always see someone going for the Cree because it gives you those 5 French villagers, which is insane. Right, it is absolutely insane. So no one really going for that and making any CDBs just goes to show how unknown is. It gives you that level of uncertainty in a game, which I think can be really fun for the viewers.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder if an H2 only tournament is going to cause players to be overly aggressive, like we saw Conqueror be, because they think, oh, it's H2, I got to push, I got to be aggressive. But, maybe the key to winning these types of games is to still stay economic without aging and not just going into fights that aren't necessarily useful.
Yeah, definitely. Are we going into... but by the way, shout out to Afroholic. Thank you very much for the Prime. Big 11 months. Hoi, hoi! Hey. Thank you very much. All right, should we get into game number 2, Mr. V?
Absolutely. You want to do the intros this time?
Let's go for it. So, what map is this again?
This is, don't tell me. This is Sud.
Sud.
Yep.
Is it Sud? Yes.
I believe so.
Yes. Okay, we're on the map, Sud. Finally, we got something a little bit different. We got man like Tabben in the red in the south of the map, playing as the Frenchies, as we was talking about earlier, Mr. V, as the Froggies, going up in the north of the map in blue, playing as the Germans, Mr. Conqueror. So this is going to be, this is something you've all seen before. We want a more familiar map. This map used to be, I don't know if it still is, actually. It feels like I haven't played it in such a long time. But this map used to be in the 1v1 kind of ranked pool. I'm not sure if it still is. It might be. I can't remember. Someone in chat will tell me. But it used to be on there. So it's going to be a familiar map for all of these players.
And
so
the best
a decent
part,
native.
The best part about this map, no ostriches. Look at those juicy giraffe herds.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I hate ostriches.
The worst are I can't remember the map. There's something even worse. It's those monkeys, those little monkeys that move really fast, and the AI moves every 3 seconds. It's so goddamn annoying. But yeah, drafts is always really nice. Middle TP was obtained there by France. That's interesting. I don't know if that's he's timed that deliberately. I think it is because you can see the TP starts from the north down to the south. So maybe if he can't get the first round, which I think he can. I'm not sure why he went for the middle. That it might just be so he can dominate the TP line. It might be something like that. But yeah, I'm not sure why he got the middle TP. But again, I don't know the ins and outs. But yeah, something to note on this map. There's a couple of really nice treasures. You've got the huge 190 XP treasures on this map with the free hippos. Sorry, not the free hippos. Harrison's mum and her sisters. So we got them, 2 of them on this map. You got decent natives that give the red sea wagons. But other than that, it's quite a small map as well. So it can generally be quite an aggressive map. Gold mines and things like that are spawned quite far away from your initial TC. So it should be a super fun time.
Well, here's the question I have.
Harrison's not going to be happy with that, is he? I bet you.
No,
I love
he's
you,
absolutely not. I gotta know though, as a high level player, you gotta kind of let me in on the reasoning here. What is the reasoning by picking Germany in an H2 only tournament? Is there something I'm missing here? Because France versus Germany H2 seems very lopsided. Maybe I'm just not educated enough.
Tower Rush, maybe.
Maybe.
That's all I can think of. Yeah, Tower Rush. The problem is, you're right. Musk Huss definitely reigns king, but a solid Tower Rush timing could definitely be interesting. So maybe we'll see a tower rush here.
Hmm.
Again, it's difficult against France because their villagers are tougher. So there is that as well. But
Ooh,
tower rush.
95 XP for Conqueror. Oh, that's juicy.
That is nice. That is nice.
Hmm.
It's not the 190, but it's not bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, for what is that? 2 alligators? That's not a bad treasure to take at all.
Yeah, pretty simple, and it's near his base as well, which is nice. Being chased down by Tabben, but he's not going to achieve too much. Just a little bit of HP reduction there. Yeah, runs a scout away, and it's always a little top tip for you guys out there. You know, when you're pressuring German's explorer, and that's what he wants to do, because Germany tend to want to get a TP in transition. If he goes for a tower rush, he won't. So damaging your opponent's explorer when you're Germany, that is really important, because they want to build that TP in transition to age 2. So you've got that opportunity to try and snipe the explorer before he gets a chance to build that TP. Yeah, can we have a look at the decks here? See if there's any bit of a giveaway here. This is France, of course. We see 3 CDBs. Team has a Bonaparte. Yeah, I mean, he's got Ancient Regime, which is really, really good, actually, because you still get the XP tech from there, and you can build the Musketeers from there. So infinite 2 CDBs, that might actually be a really good card in this setup, in this kind of age 2 scenario, because you can go 3-vil, 4-vil, and you could just, spam 2 CDBs a few times, which actually wouldn't be that bad, would not be that bad. But I'm sure he'll want to get some resource crates early on.
I also love the option for H2 skirmishers in Tabben's deck. I mean, usually that's not a card you would play. You would just go up to H3. But in this game, having skirmishers against Germany in H2 could really hard counter any DOP or crossbow play they try to bring out.
Actually, I mean, would you want to do it instead of just crossbows? I don't know, because I think it scales the skirmishers to age 2 stats. True. And the kind of crossbows are a soft counter for skirmishes anyway. But if you've got food and gold as opposed to wood, then I guess that's definitely possible. But doesn't look like, I can't see on the map any kind of outpost going up or anything like that. So I don't think we're going to see kind of any tower rushing or anything like that, which is a little bit of a shame, because I was going to get a bit hard for that, but it's a little bit unfortunate. Maybe
in this tournament,
kind of standard stuff.
In this tournament, market upgrades are just going to be so essential.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But TP in transition for Conqueror, and no, that's not the outpost wagon. That's Arsenal wagon.
Oh yeah. So he's gone for the Arsenal age up. Interesting. And look how quickly that builds. Holy cow! That built really quickly. 50 XP for that going down as well. That's quite nice. But yeah, that's kind of nice, I guess. I don't know if he gets a free tech from it though. With that age up, do you get a free tech from the Arsenal?
I don't believe
doesn't
so.
Look like
I don't see any of them
like
researched.
There is an age up with one of the civs that gives you a free tech from it. You age up with the Arsenal and you get a free tech from it. I'm pretty sure it does, actually. I know it's an first runner saying no. You get an extra Ulan from every age 1 and age 2 shipment. Is that the German logistician age up then? Is it a chat? Tell me, is that the logistician age up?
Whatever it is, I don't know. I'm looking at this and I don't feel any momentum from Germany, and just France just feels like such a better civ in this scenario. I mean, already 700 wood, Hussar already coming out, making CDB. It just feels good. It feels France, whereas Germany feels very handicapped.
Oh wait, yeah, but he did, so he is the logistician age up, so he gets an Arsenal. I don't think he gets a free tech from it, but he gets an extra Ulan with each age 1 and age 2 shipment. So that means in age 2, he's going to be getting 3 Ulans per shipment.
Okay, that is pretty good.
Yeah, that's sounding pretty insane, right?
Yeah.
Well, if we can keep an eye on Germany right now, and just keep an eye on when Germany get a shipment comes in, if we can just double check.
Ooh, what treasure is Tabben picking up there? Just a little bit to the north. He's fighting Harrison's mom up there. Heated.
There we go.
190 XP. Sorry, I had to jump on the train.
Yeah,
I wanted to feel cool.
You got to. Okay, there comes a shipment coming in for blue. If we can have a look at blue, just make sure that 3 Ulans did spawn from there. on the TC. Okay, never mind.
We'll see it in the fight eventually.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like it. Yep.
Oh, yeah, it does look like, because he's got 6 Oolons, right? And we don't see a stable. So that's 2 shipments that have come in. So that's 6 Oolons. So yeah, 3 Oolons with each shipment. That's like Germany Logistician sounding pretty good in this format, actually.
Yeah, okay. I might be proven wrong here. That is really, really strong. 6 Ulan in for free from 2 shipments. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like a whole batch of Hussars almost. Like, that's absolutely insane.
And he's gonna just go Cav Pike here? Is that the play? Maybe he gets infantry breastplate from the arsenal and kind of beefs him up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they don't have musketeers. I mean, Doppels could be useful here, but you know they're expensive, and yeah, I'm really not sure. Like you say, you know, Muskas. Harrison made a good comment earlier about upgraded musketeers destroys this matchup, and it's kind of true. But it does always come down to micro. Things like this always come down to positioning and micro. But yeah, generally Muskas is so strong against Germany. That's why Germany are a fast fortress civ, because they need those war wagons. They're desperate for the war wagons. So that's why they need to age up. So they're going to struggle here. They are going to struggle here, but we'll see if there's any kind of early game advantages.
8 crossbows coming out could be really effective if he can kind of get down the pikes with a few muskets mixed in too. So definitely the better composition coming out from Tabben, but it's just the fact that all of these Ulans are free, and you're only going to be facing more as the game goes on.
I think the game's in slow mode a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. But gonna save his trading post in the middle.
Yeah, gonna save that trade post in the middle. Just a few musks, a few bows, almost 7.5 minutes of the game. Really not that much action's happened so far.
700 coin coming in. I wonder if that's just going to be used to kind of hypercharge some Huss production here. Get out a lot of cav.
I see Code Defender there playing Dark Souls. Get your ass on Age of Empires 3, boy. I saw that Steam message. Yeah, this is going to be one of those games. You just know this is going to be one of those games that just has like one huge fight at some point in the game, and it's just going to dictate who wins or loses.
Yeah,
big fight, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be taking place around that center trading post. I imagine that at some point Conqueror is going to try to poke in again, and either Tabben's going to wipe him out with his better composition, or you know, Conqueror's just going to get a really good surround on the Huss with his pikes, and that'll be GG. But oh my God, so many Ulans now, all of them free. Every single one.
Yeah, and yeah, this is, and you can see how cautious both of these players are playing right now. Like, neither of them, they both got cav, but we haven't seen any raiding from either side. And they don't want to get caught out, and you know they don't want to get a disadvantage. And you know, raiding is one of those things that it is high risk, high reward often, especially in a format like this, because you know people are going to be making units in H2, so you can't be careless with your raiding because your cav will get caught. And the last thing, any little one cav dies, you know there's only H2. You know there aren't big swings in this format. There is only H2 military production, so you don't have to worry about that. So losing any units is going to be a huge disadvantage.
Oh, this is going to be huge. If that cavalry comeback card comes in right before a fight happens, that's going to be so good for these French Hussars. But there are still a lot of pike in the mix here, and I don't know if there's enough ranged infantry to take them all down quickly. And so, I don't know, is Tabben being a little bit too aggressive here? Is he just hunting for vills, or what's going on? Just kind of poking?
Yeah, just kind of trying to push the agenda a little bit, see if he can find any advantage. Kind of, shun any villagers away from certain resources, just trying to get any little advantage as he can. But doing it very, very cautiously. We've still got lag. I'm not sure if that's a game issue or not, but hopefully we can sort that, guys. Hopefully we'll be able to sort that.
Yeah. That is something I wish we had gotten an answer to in the latest patch. I mean, the patch did have some good aspects, but there's just some quality of life stuff that'd be nice to figure out why it happens and how to fix it definitively.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, both again, both these guys playing super cautiously. Might be worth having a look at people's decks, see what's been sent. Maybe Conqueror pushing a little bit here. We see 3 Vils, 4 Vils, 8 bows, resource shipments, cav combat. So, like this is what we would normally see in a kind of a normal supremacy game.
Ooh, we got to push on the trading post now. A lot of Ulan, a lot of pike, and there's even some crossbow mixed in for Conqueror here. And we'll have to see if Tabben feels like he can defend it. But it's definitely going to go down no matter what.
Yeah, takes it down. Scores are pretty much neck and neck right now. Maybe it's go time. But there's not. I mean, there's a lot of huzzas actually. There is a lot of huzzas there actually. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, and these guys do have a cavalry combat card on them, so they're going to be even stronger than usual. Nice pull here by Conqueror. Going to get his Ulan in front, and those pike mixed in. It's going to be very important for Tabben to pick those pike off as quickly as possible. But this just shows why Musk are so good in this matchup. They're going to be so versatile against everything that Conqueror has besides the crossbows.
Yeah, Musketeers also have a higher base damage as well than crossbows, so they do more damage against everything anyway. Even hussars and cavalry anyway, let alone being in melee. So they really do a lot of damage. People seem to forget that, and the hussars just kind of tank everything, can act as that meat shield. But the pikemen are getting stuck in. The pikemen are getting stuck in there, and the hussars are dwindling. And if those hussars can get melted, that is a nice batch of extra coming in. The crossbows might clean up.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. Minutemen even coming in to join, and they still have quite a bit of HP on them. And now there's not really much left from the French army here. More musketeers coming in, but the German army is looking mostly to be crossbows at this point. And it's just the fact that all of those Ulan that he killed were free, right? I mean, all those hussars, 200 resources each. Meanwhile, the cav of his enemy just didn't have to pay anything for him. That's such a such a good mechanic for Germany.
Yeah, I love the giraffes in there as well. They were actually helping Conqueror because of the hussar movement and stuff. Those giraffes are actually being annoying for the pathing purposes.
Yeah. Interesting to see Tabben still pushing in here. Maybe it's because he's got these reinforcing hussar on the way, but
yeah, hussars just so good now, and because Germany's a tempo heavy civ, and because of all of those shipments that have been sent, they've been giving him Ulans. So he's had all of that tempo swing, and now that's all been gone. Hussars are just going to absolutely destroy everything here. Free dop shipment might be unfortunately that's a very kind of, you need to pop that on your opponent type card. But even with that, this looking pretty rough for Conqueror right now.
Yeah,
I mean, scores still say that it's quite close though.
Yeah, but I mean, I really agree with what you just said, right? The steam from Germany has really completely ran out. And this is the point where Germany would desperately be trying to get into H3 to kind of rebuild that momentum. But there is no H3. So, I mean, what does Conqueror do at this point? I think all Tabben has to do is keep making musketeers, mix in some hussars, and he'll eventually just bowl over the German base.
Yeah, he needs to get that kind of, like, Bo Pike does well in small numbers versus Muskus. Bo Pike can actually win, but in the large mass, when it's you get to that threshold where Muskus just completely rolls over Bo Pike, because you can just constantly use hussars to threaten and snare and stuff like that, whilst all of your stuff, pikemen constantly having to back up the crossbows just in case, so you're constantly losing crossbows. And it's just one of those things where the longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for France.
Well, I'm also uneasy about the fact that Germany is now really starting to have to stretch for resources. I mean, look at how many exposed villagers are now at the front of the base herding that giraffe herd. And I don't know. I mean, it's going to be really easy for the musketeers to just come in and potentially pick off settlers as they're trying to gather food.
Germany can we switch over to Germany for a second? Because Germany can actually get musketeers in this matchup, believe it or not. If you go to their deck real quick, just have a quick glimpse before we see that card on the far right there, the Prince Electors. There will be, I believe, one of those houses that you can select. Have a look at the map, because there looks like there's a fight going on. and you can actually select one of the houses to get like musketeer type units. So there is that option in this Age 2 format. But Hazard's going in for it now.
This is going to be so ugly. There's just not enough pikes. I mean, the musketeers are going to shoot them down so quickly. And now villagers getting mixed in. He's going to lose some vills here in the retreat, and crossbows just not able to kite as effectively. But now 8 crossbows and 3 more Ulans coming out. This might be exactly what he needs. Pikes getting stuck in, but I think the strength of the Hussars is going to prove insurmountable here for Germany, and the muskets putting in so much DPS from the back.
Yeah, he's just slamming it in. That's what she said. And there's to be fair, the Hussars are melting. At what cost? That's the problem. And so many villagers. I think he's done a villager pull here, so that that's another big problem. If he loses villagers here, there's just kind of no backup to all of this. Whilst France are just constantly sending in more and more units, but he might actually repel this.
That was actually a pretty decent hold. He got his pikes in a good spot, and he does have quite a bit of crossbow here from the 8 Expo shipment, and even a few Ulans here to snare down the musketeers. Maybe he's okay. Maybe he's gonna hold.
Yeah, maybe. The question is, how many villages did he lose there? That's the question.
Well,
we see he's on 24, but
and
plus,
how many does
plus
Tabben have?
Can we have we need to see how many settler wagons he's on as well, because that's not a true representation. So if we just have a quick look at how many settler wagons he's got.
1, 2. I count at least 3 at the front of his base.
If you select all, you've got there we go. 8. Yeah. So basically,
oh wow,
he's on 32 villages right now. If we go and have a look over at France and see how many CDBs he is on, 32. So the economies are actually really basically neck and neck.
Slight edge for France though, right? Because CDBs are 1.25.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I said Germany was out of steam 2 minutes ago, and I think I was incorrect, but I think I can safely say that now Germany is officially out of steam. They've sent 3 DOPs, they've sent their 8 crossbow, and I mean, look at that. The numbers of Hussar and muskets are already starting to rebuild, and when the 3rd push arrives, I don't know if there's going to be any magical shipment coming out of the TC to hold it. No Minutemen, no nothing. He's just going to have to try to make enough Expo and Pike and try to get another good engagement with the Hussars.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that much cav, and at this point, Tabben can also just kind of raid around his base. But the scores, once again, the scores are so close, and actually Germany was ahead there for a second. So I mean, we're slandering Germany here, but in actual fact, it looks like he's doing a really good job. He has that Arsenal, by the way, don't forget. So there's definitely Arsenal techs which buff him right now. And look at that. It looked like he's found a really good choke point there with the anti-cav.
Yeah.
And this TP pathing is really hindering Tabben's Hussars right there. You saw there, they kind of got squashed and squeezed in between the TP and the pikemen. And that was such a terrible fight there for Tabben. But more huge reinforcements coming in. That might swing the game.
I mean, Conqueror's micro has just been better overall so far this game. He's been getting his pikes in really good spots. He's never allowed the Hussar to get a clean grab on his Expos. Now pulling even more villagers and settler wagons here with reinforcing Ulans. And this looks like another really good fight for Germany. And man, I've really got to stop counting Germany out, because that's 3 times now that I've put them to bed and they've proved me wrong.
Holy cow. I mean, like France, he was just fighting pikemen with Hussars, and it's such a bad trade. Such a bad trade. But he didn't really have enough infantry to deal with the pikemen quick enough. That was the problem there. He kind of prayed for it, but it just didn't work out. And like he's probably going to lose this game right now.
Yeah, I mean, now there's no pressure on the German vills. They can freely gather in front of his town center. Might even be able to, claim this TP if he wants it. And I mean, yeah, now it's kind of France that has to stretch out and has some really exposed CDB. They are tougher than normal villagers, but I mean, still not going to be able to stand up to Ulans here. I definitely think that Conqueror can't get too greedy here, right? He can't lose all these cav and all of these pikemen to a really quick musk pop, but it's looking good. It's looking good for Conqueror.
And the scores are reflecting that as well. But again, it's still close. It's still close. But yeah, Tabben taking such a bad fight there. That TP kind of foundation really, really became a huge choke point for Tabben. So that was really nice play by Conqueror there. recognizing that and taking that really good fight.
Yeah, and I can tell Tabben might be a little bit nervous. You saw him just research Blunderbuss there, probably researched Greatcoat quite a bit ago, but maybe thinks that he's going to need to pull Vils here for a fight in the near future. And looks like he's continuing to go Hussar, but going to start mixing in some crossbows. I think that's a good response to the amount of pike that Conqueror's putting out.
Yeah, no one's gone for TPs yet, which is interesting. Can we? Harrison wants to know if France Musk HP has been sent yet. So if we can have a look at the deck, France's deck, and see if that card has been sent yet. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Interesting. Okay. Most of his H2 card shipments have been sent though. Literally almost everyone apart from that card.
Yeah.
Harrison saying no, fuck me, and yeah, I mean I have to agree there. That is a huge card. But both of his cavalry shipments have been sent, so he's sacrificed not sending that for both of his hussars, and that's probably been his decision making as to why he's been kind of using his hussars, and like the confidence he's had in his hussars, the false confidence, has probably come from sending both the cavalry upgrades. So I sent the Wilderness Warfare, which does nothing right now. The Wilderness Warfare, I believe, is natives and CDB upgrades. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. I mean, that really hasn't impacted the game at all there. But big stuff going down at the south.
Am I crazy, or does that card buff skirmishers as well?
Does it buff what? Sorry. Oh, skirmishes. Yeah, skirmishes. Yeah.
Which he doesn't have.
No.
Oh my God, that's so many Ulans. Holy crap.
Yep, and again, that's that power of that logistician build. That logistician build has honestly, if we at the end of the game, we'll have a look at how many shipments Germany has sent overall, because we'll be able to deduct how many extra Ulans that has been. Basically, 1 Ulan per extra per shipment. So we'll be able to at the end of the game, we'll be able to see that. But yeah, let's have a look at the fight, see what's going on.
Oh, and he's double raxing pike at the same time. And man, how do you engage that if you're Tabben? Where do you even go with your hussar? There's just no good way to engage. He has to get enough infantry out. Minutemen now coming, more reinforcing hussars, but he's going to even start losing some CDB in the back here. And oh, the hussars are doing quite a bit of work there. A lot of Ulan now going down, but is he going to win this one?
People there, yeah. There's he's going to win this huge, and there just wasn't enough pikemen here, and those hussars are absolutely on steroids right now, and that is going to be a cleanup. The CDB pool, the Minutemen, it was just all adding to that fight. Huge play there by Tabben, and again another big swing. Just when it was looking, we thought Conqueror might be running away with this game. That is a huge
Jesus. I have not called a single fight right this entire game. Take away my casting card. Fire me immediately.
Well, I mean, I was not expecting that either. But yeah, those hussars are just they're on steroids, and they've had both of their upgrades from the shipments, and yeah, that's why you send them instead of the Musk. There's so many exposed villagers here for Germany now. He's even going to start losing some settler wagons, and now the infantry ball is big enough that it should be able to deal with any number of pikes that come out, and it's going to take a while for those Ulan numbers to get rebuilt, and eventually he's going to run out of cards, and that logistician bonus is going to be null and void. But he looks like he's going to have to take this engagement. He doesn't really have much of a choice at this point. Yeah, I mean, villagers being displaced now, it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and this is snowballing because France are just booming away here, and I mean, the villager count's still relatively close as long as Germany can gather, but...
Look at the scores, though. 3,000 in favor of Tabben. And he's going to see this hunt. There's 4 or 5 villagers. Oh, no, there's even more. A couple of settler wagons as well. And there's enough musk mixed in that the Ulans can't just dive into this infantry ball. And it looks like the hussars are going to get engaged, and
there's just the hussars are just way too tough. You look at the HP of how much the hussars and the damage that they're doing.
I mean, the pike are getting a direct engagement. It doesn't even matter. Look at all the +8s. Jesus.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I think that's going to be the meta right now for Conqueror is going to be pushing that resign button, and there it goes. Really good game, actually. Fun one there. Let's go straight away. Let's go to the shipments. The shipment. You go onto timeline, and then you go to the shipment part. Is it view post game timeline? I'd just like to know how many shipments each has had. There you go. Shipments total. So Tabben Conqueror had, how many is that? 10, that looks like. So 10 shipments for Conqueror and 11 for Tabben. So Conqueror gained 10 Ulons from that age 2 age up. Now you work out how much resources that was in total, and you obviously, like with shipments and shipment curve, you get the majority of those shipments earlier on rather than later, which is more important. You work out how many resources that was. Well, that's what 1,500, right? So that's 1,500 resources from the logistician age up. Compare that to, let's say, 400 wood. Yeah, that's not even close. So that was an interesting build there by Germany.
Well, it was an interesting game because both players kind of threw at different points in the game, right? When we saw that big fight in the middle with those Hussars just getting cleaned up by the Pikes, and then when we saw that big German army just get wiped out again by the Hussars, but now Hussars that had gotten a second upgrade card on them. And so, I mean, it could have gone to both players at multiple points in the game.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Can we have a look at all resources gathered and stuff? And then look at the villagers as well before we go into the next game? Or we just going? Okay, we're going. That's fine.
We're gone.
Oh, we're gone. We're gone. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Let's see, being too kind. Just look at all resources gathered. Just have a quick look. Holy, look at the difference there. Look at the difference there. Absolutely huge there for France and France CDB. Showing them why they are king. Cool, fun stuff. Okay, we'll go on to the next game. I have to say, can we? Because there was parts of that game where, large part, maybe all of it, that it was running quite slow. Is there, before we get into the next game, is there any way we can deal with that? Is there anything we can do? I mean, if it means having to not watch on Discord, then I'm sure that will be fine. I'd rather the Twitch viewers have a better experience than us. We just have to be a few seconds behind. That's all.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I would be fine with that because I'm imagining maybe streaming to Discord and streaming to Twitch at the same time would put pressure on any machine.
Yeah.
And we had a prediction for that one too. I wonder how many people won points there on Tabben. It certainly looked like Conqueror had the game after that second big fight in the middle of the map, but.
Yeah, no, it was a close one. All right, so currently that's 2-0 to Tabben, but the games have been pretty close. Like I said, Conqueror, potential dark horse. He plays lots of civs as well. So he's still not out of this yet. It's best of 7, right? So that's first to 4.
Yep.
And look what the cat dragged in again. Harrison, what do you want?
I'm here to raise a formal complaint to the ESOC Corporation. I believe Mr. Fee referred to my mother as a hippo.
Oh, what? No, that was Lion. That's Lion's thing.
No, I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
No, he's been
You
working.
can get stitches.
Well,
If you look to the north of the map, you'll see Harrison's mother getting picked
I know
off.
what it was. Oh, okay. So you haven't heard about this, but my good friend Mongpa and I, we have very similar voices. He probably snuck into the voice chat and threw that in while we were.
I saw him. I did see him.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about Discord notifications. That probably just trying to throw you off his trail. So I'd go talk to Mongpa about that. Certainly sounds like a bad situation, and I wish you the best.
Yeah,
This is also a perfect opportunity for those Discord notifications to get muted while we provide entertaining banter in transition.
Just a bit of banter.
Banter.
Your formal complaint has been received, Harrison, and it's been denied.
Also, can we just like drag Tabben to one side after the series and say, actually, yeah, you're 2-0 up, but game 1, you had a level 3 TP, but you never put it to wood at any point in the game. And in game number 2, must counter everything Germany have in H2, must see them better than crossbows. Fact, there's no upgrades to crossbows in Germany, there's a card which upgrades that ping unit, and he ends up Z-moving Huss into Pike over and over and over again. Please.
But he won the game, Harrison. He was playing 8D chess. Didn't you see?
Yeah, but Germany's so bad in this matchup, though, in H2.
Well, speaking of
Julian
bad
came in
civs.
thinking that Dictator was trolling with the Germany pick.
Well, speaking of bad civs that actually are going to be really good in this sort of tournament setting, we know that Tabben's going to be playing Russia in Game 3. And I have not seen Conqueror's Civ yet, but you know what? Maybe Russia isn't as bad as people said. I feel like post-patch they've really gone up a couple of clicks.
The changes to Russia don't really impact them too much. One of the biggest changes is an age 3 card, which 9 times out of 10 doesn't impact Russia anyway. But Russia in this format might be S tier. Russia in this format is definitely a top level Civ, that's for damn sure. Not having to deal with the Falconet FF stuff. Yeah, Russia are going to be bloody good. The only Civ I can really see doing, I mean, there's India, France, you know, even Germany, but Russia will be really good, like in the mid to late game. In this format, Russia are going to be really, really strong.
Yeah, and that's another Civ that kind of has the complete package, right? When it comes to composition, right? They have really cost-effective ranged infantry and strelets. They've got really easily massable and again cost-effective ruskets. You know, Cossacks 1 population, cheaper than Hussars, and so good in mass. So, I mean, they've got a really good composition to play a prolonged H2 battle, and that's kind of what that Civ is born to do, right? Prolonged H2 engagements, and it's going to be going up against Brit here, which, thoughts on that as the counter pick?
Yeah. I'm not sure I'd call it a counter pick, like he's obviously counterpicked with Brits. I wouldn't call Brits a counterpick to Russia, but I would they do really well versus Russia. They do really, really well versus Russia, that's for sure. I mean, that's a good bet by. But even in this matchup, you know, extended age 2 play will be good for Russia because they will eventually they pretty much outscale every, you know, legacy Civ eventually. So, well,
should we dive into game 3?
Let's do it.
All right. I will take the honors of the intro if that's all right with you, Mighty Lionheart.
Oh, please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3 of the Winter Championships. It's the round of 16, Tabben versus Conqueror, currently 2-0 in Tabben's favor. And if you're just joining us, we are now in Game 3, Russia versus Brits. On the left side of the map, playing in the color blue, we have Tabben, and on the right side of the map, playing in the color red, we have Conqueror. Hokkaido, an interesting map, not one that I've seen in a while. It has a very, very obvious sort of choke point. So if we are going to be seeing a rush from Russia, I think we all know where that starting blockhouse is going to go. But both players could have 2 TPs of their own, or if one player wanted to go super greedy, they could go for that as well. And there's even a little bit of water potential. Thoughts on what Russia or Brit is going to do in this game, Lionheart?
Yeah, talking about Hokkaido as well. Again, this is a map that's been on the map pool in the ranked, kind of 1v1 ranked Civ pool before. So this is going to be a familiar map to everyone. But it's, like you said, it's a map that hasn't been on the ranked pool in a long, like over a year, 2 years, I think. Pretty much since the beginning of DE, actually. So it's really cool to see us, and it's a pretty balanced map as well. It's a pretty decent balanced map. What are we going to see from this, you ask? Well, Brits, we know what we're gonna see from Russia. You know, 9 times out of 10, we're gonna see the exact same thing from Russia every single time. We're gonna see a forward blockhouse. We're gonna see the early 10 Strelet 5 Cossack potentially, kind of early aggression raiding, and then we're gonna see 700 word. I imagine we'll see 700 word into the double blockhouse, and then kind of it will just be a brawl from there. Brits have a couple of ways of dealing with this. You know, early cav. You can even start cav. You know, a little bit of musk, a little bit of longbow, a little bit of huss. They can actually do like 700 wood into 700 gold kind of build where they actually put the pressure on Russia. So they actually go like a starting barracks and starting stable, and they can actually like produce a batch of 5 Hussars and 5 musketeers quite early on in the game. And, you know, we all know early Hussars is very difficult for Russia to deal with. So there are a couple of options here for Brits to be able to deal with Russia.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, one of the things I was thinking about as you were explaining that was, you know, as Russia, if you are going to rush Brit in Age 2, do you opt for, you know, you're going to be sending 5 Cossacks as probably your first card. Do you opt for the 5 Ruskets to accompany them, or do you go for 10 Strelet?
It's important you raid really early. normally you want the Strelets because the Strelets survive longer, so they and because there's more of them, they kill villagers easier. So you want that sustained kind of in your opponent's base kind of resource, military resource. So you want to go for the Strelets, and it's not the end of the world if you do go for Strelets and your opponent goes Cav. That's why I said early scouting is super important, because you can kind of fiddle this, you can fiddle the macro if you see that stable foundation or that barracks foundation going down, and you can make that decision, because obviously you age it with the 400 wood. 100 of that can very easily be used for Strelets as opposed to gold. So what you want to do is you do want to make sure you've got that kind of 90 gold amount, so you can go Musketeers if you need to, because if you see the stable, you 100% want to get the Ruskers early. But even if you go for Strelets and you still see the stable, it's still kind of okay, because the likelihood of them getting a batch of 5 Bazaars out is unlikely, and you can just use the Cossacks as kind of your anti-cav, pseudo anti-cav, but it's not preferable. So again, yeah, the moral of the story there is early scouting is super key in knowing whether or not you're going to go for a batch of Strelets or a batch of Musketeers first.
Sure. Do you foresee anybody going with water here? Because we do see that, I mean, the towns are pretty close to the coastline here. Could be possible to get some 2 caravels out and harass the opponent, or maybe just try to fish, though I don't see a ton of resources in this water. It is pretty limited. But any potential for water play from either Brit or Russia?
Yeah, definitely. Both of these civilizations are decent kind of mid-game water booming civs. Russia less so. But they can still 100% water boom. So both these civs, they kind of, Russia early game macro is very difficult, and the resources are kind of sparse. So, you need to set up before, 10 minutes. You can maybe then start to look at going water boom. Brits, again, you want to kind of maximize mana booming and military units before you go for the water boom. So both of these civs, once they've kind of set up, they have that then strong mid-game potential water boom where they can add to the dock. So yeah, I think if this goes on to an extended game, we'll definitely see docks go down for both these guys.
And we did see Conqueror just age up. If we could get a look at his base, has he put down his first military building? Do we know if it's the barracks or the stable? Maybe both? I mean, we see double blockhouse right away from Conqueror, very aggressive. And we see a barracks starting from Conqueror here, and really defensive outpost. But he's done a really good job kind of creating a wall with his manners. I really like this building placement here from Conqueror.
Yeah, you can see his tree line as well. It's kind of a sporadic tree line, but albeit he's kind of maneuvered his manners and his market into a position where it's kind of forming that really nice wall. So that is going to be difficult for Conqueror for Tabben to break through. But going for that double early blockhouse, I've seen that before. Obviously I guess. I'm not really sure why, to be honest with you. It feels like a bit of a waste of resources. Generally, you see the 700 wood come in, and then you go for the double blockhouse. But maybe he's playing quite defensive. You see here, I don't see any military units produced right here. That is a 5 Cossack shipment. So we are literally just seeing a 5 Cossack shipment trying to do some damage here. It's not going to find anything, and the pikemen are going to deter it. Finally, I think we see some... Okay, Strelets coming in at 5 minutes 45, so that is quite delayed, because you can have those Strelets in way before 5 minutes 30. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, is it possible here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it possible that maybe Tabben's going for more of a contained game? I mean, we have to remember Brits go through food incredibly quickly. He does have a couple of safe hunts at the moment, but maybe he's just trying to keep Britain boxed in and possibly go for a later push, not necessarily early raiding.
It definitely, I mean, yes, the only downside to that is that what you're doing is you're potentially letting Brits boom, which is obviously very dangerous, because if they're allowed to boom, if they're allowed to have time and space, you see what I did there, then they're allowed to, then they're going to crush you. And well, I mean, there's a good chance that they'll crush you because their eco would be so good. So there's pros and cons to it, but yeah, I mean, Tabben hasn't been super aggressive, which I kind of suspect him of, but that might work in his favor, because like you said, we saw that tree line, we saw the mana line.
Is that a third blockhouse?
It is.
Oh my
super
God.
defensive play here.
He's basically just walling off that entire corridor with blockhouses. But I mean, I know you like it, Lionheart, but I mean, wouldn't that wood, that's 500 wood sitting there, and there's no way he can triple produce out of a blockhouse. I mean, maybe not even double produce. Would that wood not be better served towards housing or market upgrades or even more strelets?
So the reason he's doing this, because he's going to get value out of these. These are basically outposts right now, because what Russia is doing is he knows at some point Brits are going to push out. Brits will some point push out because they want to gain map control, albeit they can just go to the north. So maybe that's not the. But what he's doing is essentially he's playing very defensive, and he wants to hold on to the map. So at some point Brits will push into this, and those blockhouses will then get value because it will be free blockhouses. And look, trying to maneuver around those blockhouses is going to be difficult as well. So you know, the only problem is because of the map, got that huge kind of mountain in the middle. It's kind of blocking off. So although he's holding on to the bottom of the map with the free blockhouses, it's not going to serve him much for all of the resources near the TP line. However, we talked about water boom earlier. Those free blockhouses might serve really useful for that mid kind of game, 10-minute onwards, when Tabben will want, or either want to then go for the water boom. That's going to be really helpful for Tabben because he's going to be able to water boom and feel like he's going to be safe because he's got so many blockhouses going on. So maybe that's his kind of thinking here.
Yeah. But I mean, you might be right in the fact that Britain's response to this has been pretty military heavy. We mentioned earlier that this could be a risk because it's going to allow Britain to boom, but he's been making a lot of muskets, a lot of hussars, shipping 6 longbow, and that's actually a good transition. Can we get a look at the decks for Conqueror and Tabben here? I don't think we've checked those yet this game. Okay, so he does have water potential.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've got 20 cards to spend in H1 and H2. You're gonna have water. I mean, that would be pretty stupid not to. But that's the thing, right? So if he's going to want to, we got some stuff going up the top left. Can we just have a quick gander? I think Red was trying to push there a little bit. There was something going near the TP line, but Red has backed up now. Yeah, I mean, so Conqueror does have water decks. And look, this is the sort of time when we saw the longbow shipment. And when you see that longbow shipment coming in, that means that the timing is coming. You know, like when that 6 longbow comes in, right, boom. When they come in, that's when you push. And that's exactly what Conqueror did there. He pushed. He saw that there was multiple blockhouses there, and he's decided to back up and may actually be going all the way around the mountain. Big Ben Nevis there. He's going to try to hike all the way around it and then maybe go for the TC push against Russia there. But that is risky because that then opens up for the potential base trade. Although, again, he could just pressure the TPs. But again, this works well for Tabben right now, believe it or not. This works really well for Tabben right now because if Conqueror goes too far with all of those resources, we go down south, Tabben's going to be able to do the counter push. And Conqueror is not going to want that to happen. So there's probably only one way through, and that's going to be through the free blockhouses for Conqueror.
Yeah, and I mean, Tabben did use that time to get his stagecoach upgraded. He now has 2 stagecoach TPs. Meanwhile, Conqueror has 0, now sending 13 Strelet, making more ruskets from his blockhouses, and he's going to have plenty of places to train from. That is the one thing he has from those 3 blockhouses. And I think you're right. I think Conqueror's a bit confused on where to push here.
Yeah, and I think the game is... I don't know if that's a pause or not, or if the game is just completely lagged out.
Too many longbows.
It looks like a pause because we're still able to move, so... Well, I guess we'll just wait and sit tight. Wall going down for Conqueror. I like that, but as long as if there's no way Tabben should allow that wall to go down.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering here who is going to make the first push, right? It does look like Tabben has sent his upgrade card for his infantry, and I don't know, is he going to try to push into the British base first, or is he just going to be content with this map control and wait for Brits to come to him?
That's what he wants. That he definitely wants to trap with the free blockhouses. I mean, I'm surprised we don't actually see schooners in his deck here. I feel like that's a huge mistake. Yeah, that definitely feels like a huge mistake. But he has 2 boats. He has... Yeah, that's. I think that's a mistake not to have, because again, like I was saying, Russia definitely have that potential to go to the water boom here. He's held the bottom map control 100%, so there's no reason why he can't decide. And again, having boats there as well, having caravels, that would just add to the kind of defensive position that he's taken at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay,
I wonder if
so we just froze here. Is something going to happen, or?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, it seems really long for a pause at this point.
Yeah.
That would be really disappointing, because this fight looks like it's going to be really interesting. These are probably the biggest armies we've seen yet in the series.
Yeah, it might be worth seeing if someone can Discord message these guys to see if they're in game or not still, or because it might have been a game crash or something.
Yeah.
It does look like it could be a game crash, which means that they should both be going into the kind of loading the game back up from where it started.
Right.
No, the game completed. Probably just lagged out. Oh, Baron coming in saying the game's been completed.
Oh.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Better than me.
Yeah,
I had none to
this
start with.
ain't working. Maybe we try continuing from rec. Will recorded games be, because out of sync I think is quite rare now. Won't recorded games be better than live games anyway at this point? Feels like that would stop the slow-mo issue as well.
Yeah, I've never experienced slow-mo when I load up a recorded game, now that I think about it.
No, that's because it's like, yeah, you won't, but live games will do that because it's loading the game kind of thing, if you know what I mean. Like,
sure. I mean, I have no
constantly.
problem casting from recorded games if you don't.
No. It's just whoever's decision it comes down. Let's just make the decision, and let's what is it? Is that 10 minutes? If we what we'll do is let's go back onto the home screen. Let's get the record of this game. Let's get we need to get Conqueror and Tabben talking to us right now. So we need someone talking to them. We need to say that this is frozen. Give us the recorded game for it, and then send us the recorded games for everyone, because we're going to be behind here. So.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, I will see who I can get in touch with here.
Whilst we do that, I'll keep chat entertained. Let's have a look, see what's going on. It's quite a rare thing for this to happen. This is quite a rare thing for this to happen. What's up, Dead Optics? How you doing, my man? Yeah, right. The casting from Rex runs the risk of out of sync. That is always the one risk from recorded games. But what you gonna do? Show us some teddies. Here, gold biddies. If you want to see them, anonimo, go see your mum. She does it for free.
You are a savage.
Yep.
All right, we've got guys getting the game 3 recording now. Excellent.
Awesome.
They just dropped it in the casting channel. Perfect. So we'll get Streltsy on that. Streltsy, the expert. This guy's so fast. And we were at 10:47, if I remember right.
Yeah, that looked about right.
Yeah, we were just in the middle of Conqueror deciding if he was going to push across the map, because he's been, I don't know if you were noticing there towards the end, before it freezed, he was doubling back with his army. He would go to his base, and then he'd start to push towards the TP line, and then he'd go back to his base, and he did that like 2 or 3 times. And it seems like there's a lot of indecision on whether to push or just continue booming, continue staying back, and wait for Rush to come to him.
Yeah, and that's what was so exciting about this game, was that you just knew something was happening imminently, and I want to know what the outcome was.
Yeah, which is weird, because when I heard that it was going to be an H2 tourney, I thought it was going to be a lot of very quick games, but it seems to me like we're getting more and more of these long buildups followed by a very short fight, one guy just sweeps the board and it's game over, which is not how I expected it to go.
Yeah. We started this at just after 6 o'clock GMT, didn't we? Bloody hell, it's an hour and 25 minutes already in. 1 hour, 20 minutes in, and still on game 3. Hi-yo!
Could be a 4-game sweep. Hopefully not, but if we get 2 really quick games, we'll still be right on time. And it looks like Streltsy, he does have the game loaded up. The recording is here. We just got to get it back to its previous spot.
Yo, big shout out to Baron, who's he's not supposed to be working for ESOC right now, but he's doing helping with the recorded games and getting communication. So shout out to Baron.
Yeah. No, Callan makes a good point. These castings, they really are a commitment. It's not like you pop in for an hour, pop out. You gotta be prepared.
Yeah. Okay, we're on fast mode. Whilst we wait for this, I just want to talk about as I don't know if anyone in chat or yourself, Mr. V, if you've heard of Tempest Rising or you've played any of the betas, because I don't know if you're into any other RTS games, but I'll tell you what, I'm in the beta right now for Tempest Rising.
I've been hearing you talk about it.
It's fucking good, man. Any Command and Conquer, like that was a classic RTS, wasn't it? The Command and Conquer series. Anyone that played Command and Conquer when they were younger, like you're gonna fucking love Tempest Rising. Did you ever play
the Lord of the Rings RTSs?
Oh yeah, that was so good. So I wish they did a remake.
Yeah,
I really wish. And with things like, Age of Empires series all getting definitive editions, we've got the Warcraft essentially getting definitive editions, right? Or they're getting they're getting something done with them. They've just released them. Which is one of the, if not the biggest RTSs of all time. Tempest Rising, basically a Command and Conquer DE version, sort of. With all this stuff happening for the RTS world, there's no reason why we couldn't see a Lord of the Rings remake, like DE version of the RTS games.
Oh, I would cast that so quick.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think RTSs are definitely making a really strong comeback. So that's really, really good to see.
Yeah, I think we were at 10:47, Streltsy. So I think if we go ahead another minute, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, every game tourney has tech issues. Age of Empires 3 is no exception. That is very, very true.
Yeah.
Out for Mid-Earth would be so good. Yeah,
I can see his army there. I just saw him move to the north, and now he's moving back south. And I think we could probably pause it right here, Streltsy, because I don't think we saw this this initial push. I think we were on the north side of the map when it happened. But it looks like Tabben might be pushing in after all.
Yeah, let's get on with it. So let's go straight ahead. We're right where we were, and we might be seeing a huge clash right now. How annoying would it be if the game ends right now and we was like 30 seconds away from the game ending? But this is the most hype moments. We've got to see it. We've got to see it. So a little bit of back and forward going on there. Again, these guys threatening what they're doing right now is they're just kind of threatening their positions, just trying to gain that kind of spatial advantage right now. And wait a minute.
God.
No. Are you kidding?
Oh man. Oh.
Why? Wait, why?
That was the biggest blue ball I have ever seen.
What? I'm shook.
Oh man.
Who won?
Are you still recovering? Oh
who
man.
Quit? Who's quit?
I have no idea. They said the game worked just fine, and they said that there were no issues. Did someone resign? No way.
No way. Someone resigned.
Maybe. I don't know.
Right. Someone get Baron on the case. He seems to know what's going on. Baron,
call the
tell us
detective.
what's going on?
Oh man.
I have no idea what's happening. I'm texting them now.
Oh,
well, when you hear something, Baron, please let us know, you legend.
Oh my God.
Dear.
That
I'll be back, guys.
That was fantastic.
Cheers.
You were ready. You were on the edge.
Bro,
Man,
what the fuck?
that was
Like you said, that was the biggest blue ball ever. Like
it was. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Call that game stepsister. Because what are you
Does that make
doing,
you
Tabben?
Does that make you step bro?
What are you doing, Step Tabben?
Oh Whew. No, I have no doubt in my mind. There's no way they resigned. Like, what cause would they have to resign on either side?
I don't know, man. I think did Russia just quit because he was down in score? But that's usual
always
for
with
Russia.
Russia.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't understand. Callan says he's resigned over less.
I mean, I have
yes,
too,
but you're special, Callan. So, I don't even know.
What's the dumbest thing you've resigned over? You gotta have something. Was it not getting a treasure? I've resigned over that.
Resigned instantly at the beginning of the game to give someone elo.
Oh, that's dirty.
Yeah.
How could you live with yourself?
Yeah, I know. I'm a sane individual, so I honestly can't think. I've done the whole run the spy around the map. And I remember one game, like I managed to do that, and I ran a boat, and the person didn't really know how to deal with it, and I ran like a villager in a boat somewhere on an obscure island, and I walked away from the game, and I came back, and I lost the game. It said I resigned because obviously he killed my villager, but it wasn't until about an hour 30 into the game.
Oh my god!
This is like back in vanilla when I was a noob, and like you did the guy, people then didn't know what the trade. I don't think trade monopoly wasn't even in the game in vanilla. I don't think. So in order to win the game, you had to actually kill everything. That was funny. So that made someone wait an hour and a half.
That takes a special level of dedication to sit there for 90 additional minutes just to kill one villager.
That was proper back in the day. I'll never forget that.
I'm now starting to resign whenever I see Deccan or Decan, that map. I hate that map. I don't know if I'm alone in that.
I quite like that map. It's very unbalanced, but I quite like that map.
Just give everybody 500 of everything at the start of the game.
It looks like we're loading up the next map. However, so we'll wait for Baron to come back to us. Baron, if you can hear me, just come into the mic bit, the casting couch, whenever you're ready. The casting couch. Hey. Okay. Let's get underway for the next game. What map is? Oh, this is Bayou, right? Oh, yeah. I remember seeing Bayou. So, for anyone who doesn't know, this map was this has been in since vanilla, right? So this has been like this is like a 2005 map, right? And obviously you can see it's a non-TP map. So we're not gonna, both of these guys are gonna. Wait a minute, what is going on? Why are they both? Oh, they've switched. I was like, there's no way they're replaying the Civ pool on another map. No, what's happening now? Tabben is the one that's playing as Brits, and Conqueror's the one playing Russia.
That's gonna mess me up.
That confused me. Yeah, that confused me for a second. But okay, we got the big old switcheroony reversal. So this map's interesting because I remember back in the day, like on vanilla, like TP, like the native TP, used to be like quite a legit build. You could go as Otto, and you could spend, rather than get a TP, you could spend the extra wood on getting both the native TPs. I think it's like the bow, and I think it's Cherokee, and like the ones that give you the bowman. I can't remember. If you have a quick, go on.
Can I just say that your pronunciation of Native American tribes is getting better and better every time I listen to you?
What, Cherokee?
Yeah, that's good. I've heard you say other ones where I just have to double take.
What? But then I'll say something like Red Indians.
Well, that's true. No, what was the one I was hearing? Cheyenne. And I think you keep saying cayenne like the pepper.
Oh, I said that wrong. Yeah, I think I either say Cheyenne or Cheyenne. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, you were saying.
Anyways. So if we have a quick look, we've got the sorry, go back onto the native. I can't remember what it's called. The Cherokee, and what's the other one? That's
Seminole.
Seminole. So we've got the Seminole. So they used to be pretty damn good. They used to be decent in vanilla because they were a really fast firing bow. However, they
have the shark tooth bowman, right?
Yes, they do have one useful tech. So that the bottom left one, I believe, actually helps. It buffs like archers. Yeah, so it buffs archers by 15%, which is actually quite a lot. It is 500 resources, but that might be something worth looking at. If you look at the Cherokee, then I might be giving strats away here, but the Cherokee, I believe, has a tech which gives you villagers. So it's like if you go to the Cherokee, the ones on the outside, if both of these guys have done their homework, and the Cherokee, they'll realize, I can't remember which one it is. If you go to the books, I think it is, the book-looking one. So the Cherokee Syllabary, whatever that is, that gives you 4 settlers for 400 resources. So that's pretty good because it's like a batch thing. So it instantly gives you 4 villagers. So you on this map, I'm actually surprised. I would be surprised if we don't see this used at some point in this tournament because that is something worth getting. 4 settlers is 4 settlers, right? So yeah, that might be worth something. So yeah, so this is it's a pretty basic map though. It's a swampy kind of map. There's plenty of herds, but yeah, there's no TP. So we'll see something very standard. And both of these civilizations are non-TP civilizations. So we'll probably see something similar to what we saw in the first game, the game before this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, though. Maybe Conqueror goes a little bit more aggressive. In the 2 games that we have seen, he has been the more aggressive player, pushing out more often with his army. The biggest example being that India push that kind of lost him the game in game 1. So we'll see if he goes for more of the contain, but it's going to be a lot harder to contain Brit on this map than we saw on Hokkaido. There's not as many choke points that you can cover up with your blockhouses. You'd almost have to put a blockhouse on each of these islands, which would just be impossible to defend. So I think you'll just go for the main island, take that coin mine and that hunt in the middle, and go with the standard 5 Cossack and some infantry pressure.
Yeah, definitely. This is the recording, right? It's not slow, is it?
It doesn't seem slow.
No? Okay, all right. Maybe I'm just paranoid now. It does look like it's a little bit slow, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
I get that way too.
Saying it then.
Yeah.
Callan says it's slow.
Slightly, but
okay. All right. Okay. I'm because when I watch ESOC, like I'm not gonna lie, it's not a recording. It's slow. Yeah. Because I get annoyed with this. I don't know why, but there's something infuriating about watching like the game go slow. It's so infuriating.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can try and sort that.
Well, it might be is VSync on? I know that's something people bring up all the time when you deal with slower settings. But I've also heard like 18 different VSync's not on. Yeah. I've also heard so many different ways to fix it, and they all kind of work, but also kind of don't work.
Yeah. Change the FPS. Well, the FPS is max, which is good. Drag it back, then click apply. Change it. Let's just try an error. Try an error before some of the action happens. If you click apply and then maybe go back to it. Or maybe does that work? No, it doesn't work. Well, that makes it even slower. That made it even slower. We've done this before, and turning the frame limit all the way to the end definitely helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we might just have to suffer in silence. Windowed frame mode. There's so many. Whenever you say this, everyone has an answer to it, don't they? Like, everyone seems to think they know how it's resolved.
That's why I keep my mouth shut, because I know for a fact I do not know the answer.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if the devs know the answer. But we are going to see a very forward blockhouse and an even more forward outpost. What do you think about this placement by Tabben?
I mean, it's super aggressive, right? So, like I was saying earlier, that there are ways that Brits can be the aggressor in this matchup. So if Brits, so you see here, Brits are shipping 700 wood. If we then see like something like 700 gold, maybe straight after, then there's like a Musk Huss kind of early timing that really that Russia struggle with. So if I was Russia and I saw that that really aggressive outpost, I would be a little bit shitting myself, but I would be making sure I got that second blockhouse down. I would be going Musketeers and Cossacks and trying to siege that down ASAP. And he's done a lot of damage with his. He's actually done a lot of damage with it with his Explorer. You can see there about a quarter of its HP is already gone, just over, just from his Explorer. And so that could be really, really useful for the Cossacks and recruits to finish it off. Early Hussars coming in for Brits though.
Yeah, but I mean, losing that outpost right away would definitely be a big hit to the British, and that is just so aggressive. I mean, that's about as close as a blockhouse as you can get. But is the blockhouse? I mean, it is still in range of those villagers who are gathering in the front. But I imagine we would see the Russian units come out and start sieging that any second now.
Yeah, it did actually kill his Explorer, which is I guess it's something, right? That's 45 XP. He could actually be healing that. I hope he does heal that outpost. By the way, the outpost is actually targeting the villagers, which has caused both the villagers to kind of walk away from it. Hopefully that outpost does get healed up. I would be just making sure that's super important, because the longer that outpost survives, the more hassle it's going to be. And look, a recruit's already taken some damage from the outpost. So anything that gets spawned from that blockhouse will take at least one hit, which is super annoying if you're a conqueror. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. No, I think I honestly I can't tell if this placement is good or not, but I mean, it is kind of distracting Conqueror, right? It's not allowing the units to immediately head towards the British base and possibly harass some of the villagers. So maybe just as a distraction tool, it's kind of being effective.
Yeah, there is that as well. Yeah, I mean, there's going to come a point where Conqueror is going to take it down, and you can see he's kind of playing smart, because he's not playing into Tabben's game here, because if he's just trickling in like 5 or 10 recruits, then what he can do is, with the 5 Hussars, he can just constantly keep threatening those Musketeers, so he can kind of keep baiting that he's going to dive into them or attack 1 or 2 of them, and then that constantly keeps the Musketeers having to decide if they're going to go for the siege or go for the or try and melee and attack the Hussars, and the whole time the outpost is going to be doing damage here. So that's another kind of tricky kind of game that Tabben could play on Conqueror here. So what Conqueror is going to want to do, he's going to want to build up a decent mass where it doesn't really matter if Hussars dive in, because he can then split his army. So yeah, there is that potential as well, if you know what I mean. But 5 Cossacks and 10 Strats coming in, that's going to be enough of a buffer to just kind of take it down, forcefully take it down now. But yeah, nice, interesting. It might go down, but look how much time it's bought Tabben. This is kind of crazy how much time. Look, it's at 6.5 minutes. And Conqueror has not been in Tabben's base at all. Nothing has been in his base. So that's allowed Brits to kind of go uncontested for what will be at least 7 minutes here, which is exactly what Brit wants.
Yeah, I mean, that outpost is definitely going to go down. Cav now on the map, but I like what you said about Conqueror not just feeding his men into the meat grinder, right? He now has enough ruskets that 5 Hussar are actually not going to be able to do as much, whereas if he was just able to poke those Hussar in and out as the recruits came in, he would have been able to just beat those down. But he's got some muskets out as well, so even though the Russian army looks much bigger, I would say that the actual military potential of both sides is pretty even right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's so annoying being in slow mode.
Do we wanna try not streaming to Discord? Maybe that's what's slowing it down.
Turn off the Discord, Streletsy, and see if that helps, and we'll just watch from the stream. I'll literally refresh my screen as well, make sure it's as accurate as possible. Okay, so the Discord has been turned off. Let's see if that impacts the game at all. Doesn't look like it has at the moment. So there goes that plan. I think I think maybe Streletsy needs to I think you might need to just restart the game in between each game. Will that help maybe?
Oh man.
I don't know.
What a series of hoops we're forced to jump through for our love of the game, right?
Baron, did you do we know who won last game? we still this could be match point to Tabben for all we know.
It's possible.
Oh my god, the game is so slow, bruh.
We don't know yet. They're still in game 4.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. Just let us know, mate. That'd be cool. I mean, oh, okay, Baron's gone. I was gonna say, by all means, feel free to stay in here until I give you one. But we got a battle going on right now, and
it's looking actually like a pretty good engagement for Russia. Oh, and more Cossacks coming out of the blockhouse at the same time.
Cossack shipment coming in, but 3 Hussars coming in though for Tabben. That could make the difference.
Yeah, there's not as many Ruskets on the field at this point. Still plenty of longbow doing TPS in the back.
Oh my god, that is... Do not tell me. Oh no, what is... Jesus Christ.
Every time you complain, the AoE gods strike you again.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, there we... Oh! Is it in fast mode? No, okay, we're back to slow mode. All right. Yeah, I mean, this game's got a mind of its own. What the hell?
I don't understand.
I don't understand either. But who's going to come out on top? This might be one of those... and any fight like this where it's kind of even or slightly less favored for Russia, they'll take that. Because it's a battle of attrition. Most games with Russia like this tend to be like a game of attrition. And as long as Russia can just hold on, that's all they need to do. They just need to be able to hold on to that blockhouse to the middle of the map. And if they can do that, then generally, because they outscale your opponent, and their units are cheaper, then they will eventually come out on top. But we've only seen one blockhouse right now, which I don't know. I don't like. This is exactly the reason you have 2 blockhouses, especially in this type of matchup where you know Brits are going to push you at some point in the game. You need to make sure that you've got more than 1 blockhouse, because a second blockhouse here would be doing work.
But I mean, I love the Rusket pop here, and that's going to be followed by the 13 Strele as the longbows are sitting under this blockhouse, and those Hussar are on fairly low HP. This might come in just in time to save Tabben, though. If there are no Ruskets left alive and there are any reinforcing Hussar, it's actually going to be really bad for him.
Oh, the first stress are coming in, which is going to be nice. As long as there's no cav coming in for Brits here, this is going to be decent.
Yeah, does Tabben have any cav in queue?
Oh, he does. 3 Hussars coming in. That is going to be heartbreaking. Russia even sending Minutemen right now. 5 more recruits coming in, but that's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be close. I mean, I would be putting my blockhouse on those Hussars right now. They do extra damage multiplier versus cavalry on top of that as well. But even with that, I don't know. Oh, these might bring weak Hussars. It's going to go well for Tabben, isn't it? And I think, that might be GG. But Minutemen, maybe they have to turn something around here. They got about half HP, I think.
But, I mean, it still doesn't feel great for Conqueror, because as soon as Britain, breaks the contain and they're able to go and get that 3rd and 4th hunt, as Russia, I don't know, it feels kind of lackluster. There's still plenty of British muskets here, and the amount of Strele to take them on is now 0. Minutemen are going to go down, and yeah, he probably won't be able to siege the blockhouse, but he's cleaned up the Russian army, and Russia has sent 5 Cossack, 4 Cossack, 13 Strelet, so there's really just not going to be a powerful follow-up here from Russia.
Let's have the halberdier shipment
the
coming in. Yeah, that's kind of a cool unit, but they're not going to achieve too much. Unless there's a Hussars diving in now, they're not going to achieve too much. Although 10 Strelets with those halberdiers might be able to kind of go cleaning up those musketeers, but on the really smart play to go raiding with them. Like you said, he's not going to have enough to siege down the blockhouse, but he is going to have enough to disrupt the eco, and that's super important.
Right, because this is about the same time where, Russia's going to start moving on to their more outward hunts. I mean, look at how many villagers are sitting there just off screen. Very vulnerable to any potential raiding.
Yeah, in come those halberdiers, and you see there's 6 of them. And that card did get buffed a while back, because it was only 5, I believe, originally, and now it gives 6, which is actually quite a decent shipment, to be honest, because they are, a decent anti-cav unit, and they've got really good siege as well for what they are. They do really decent siege, and it actually cleans up like 5 or 6 musketeers, loses what, 1 Vil maybe or something there.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he lost one there. I think that was a clean
maybe
sweep.
not. Yeah. So that's nice.
Ooh, 5 more cav now out on the map though.
Yeah, he's broken through that point now where he can just run around with those Hussars pretty much uncontested around the map here. And again, that's gonna like force Russia to either split their army, leave military units onto their herds or gold mines, or they're gonna have to invest in more blockhouses. So yeah, that is Callan makes a really good point there, actually. Kind of weird, 12 minutes now, and Russia only has one blockhouse and no stable. That is really weird. You know, I would like to see 2, even 3 blockhouses like we saw Tabben from last game. I'm fine with no stable, but stables are good. Obviously, you know, especially on this map, at this stage of the game, making cavalry is going to be king here because he's just going to be able to go raiding. But I think Red might be raiding down the left there. If we can have a look at the left side of the map, I think there might be some cheeky raiding going on with the military units.
Yeah, he is going to pick off a couple of vills. And what is Tabben's current vill count? It's 31 for Russia and how many for Brit? Ooh, 38. Yeah.
38, yeah.
I mean, the Poruchik's getting in a decent spot here, but there's enough Hussar to just kind of tank through it. Don't know if that's going to be the best trade for Tabben, though. That's a lot of cav going down.
If there's enough Strelets left over, they might be able to deal with the musks, but like, don't forget, like, Brit musks compared to recruits, like, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, Brit musketeers really do hurt.
And even 2 Hussar alive is still a huge threat for the remaining amount of Strelets. And yeah, I mean, nice job by Tabben here. He's clearly focusing down the rest of the Ruskets, and he's going to be able to keep his villagers gathering, right? He's not going to lose that potential from the raid. And now both players have a lot of villagers out exposed, and I'm actually kind of shocked here that the Russian blockhouse is still standing. But yeah, I would say a decent trade for Tabben, most certainly. And now 5 more cav out on the map.
And this is still okay for Conqueror. Like I said, he's taken even trades, which is what he wants to do. That is good. But yeah, that 5 Hussar, like the Hussars are such a threat right now. And with still, if he's only got 1 blockhouse, he just can't produce enough units here.
Well, now this is a game time decision. Do you push south where you know Conqueror has villagers, or do you go and finish off that remaining blockhouse?
That is a good point. I wish I don't have the answer to.
I feel like you take out the blockhouse. I mean, it's close enough to your villagers that you could stop any potential raiding.
You run the risk of having the scenario that you saw earlier, which was, you know, Russia just kind of hanging on by a thread and taking that even-ish trade. So you do run that risk of doing that. I think just running around with your Hussars here is definitely the right idea. And just trying to pick off some villagers. He knows where they are. You know, he's seen where all the dead herds are, so he knows where to go for.
Yeah. Kind of weird, though. He's choosing to do neither. He's just kind of sitting in his base, remassing, throwing in some longbows, getting more Hussars. Looks like he's going to go full Huss longbow, even sending cavalry combat as his next card. And, I mean, those buff Hussars, they did win him a game before, so maybe they'll be the answer again.
Yeah, that's definitely the smart decision. Just buff those Hussars, and this is going to be really, really difficult. Really, really difficult. I mean, I like the long. We could probably see, you know, like the shark tooth seminal tech with the bows. Could see that from the longbow tech. Could be nice. Longbows could be doing a lot of damage with that tech.
Yeah.
But 45 vils, musk Huss. That is a lot of Huss. Cav HP. Yeah, this is going to be super tough for Russia to deal with.
Yeah, and there's actually quite a bit of siege in that army with the remaining muskets and the Hussars. And he's going to lose this central blockhouse. And has he rebuilt one in his base? I don't know if he has or not. I keep seeing recruits coming down the map, so maybe that's his only military infrastructure. He's got to be putting down a blockhouse somewhere. Hopefully on that hunt that he had at the south of his base.
I mean, I hope he's putting 2 or 3 blockhouses down.
Yeah. Can we get a look at Conqueror's base and see if he's got a blockhouse down currently? He's got some raiding Cossacks, which are going to get cleaned up.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so 2 blockhouses, both covering his hunts. He's actually been developing quite an army down here.
And look at the potential like choke points. Look at all those the tree line everywhere. That's looking kind of crazy. And if Brits decide to push into there, that could be really detrimental, actually, because there's so much kind of choke point potential here. And one thing in this game, which on this map, which was always funny, like when you're traversing through the lake here and like all this swampy kind of water, it can be really difficult to see the units, right? And what unit types, because it's almost like camouflage for some units, which is kind of funny. So again, that can really kind of skew your decision making on well, how many units is that? Okay, well I can't really see all of them, or there's some hiding in them. So yeah, and with different graphic settings, honestly, like some people with certain graphic settings can struggle to see all of those units. So again, it's just traversing this kind of the geography here could be very difficult for Brits, honestly.
Oh, look at the raid down here at the south of the map.
Nice.
That's going to be at least 5 Vils dead. And I mean, now the batch training of Russia is really starting to come into play here. It's such a good mechanic, able to get out so many units, so many villagers. Hussar going to be coming down here, but like you said, there are so many choke points that they can be funneled into. But the one thing that's going to be really good in this environment is the longbow, and now we're going to get a counter raid here. So many red villagers going to be going down, and I don't think any of them are going to make it home to the Kremlin. Oh, man, those longbows.
Yeah. Longbow's such a good unit, man. Such an underrated unit as well. For some reason, they're an underrated unit, but honestly, longbows are so good, man.
Do they just get crapped on for their kiting? Is that the only reason people hate on longbows?
But they're not a skirmisher. They're not really, and they're not a crossbow. They act more like a war chief unit. They're more like a war chief unit, just with less speed, but more range. So, and that's the way you should treat them. They're not supposed to be there to kite. It's more like yes, they stand there and fight. So, but like they're such a good poking unit. They're such a good engaging unit because of their range.
3 more villagers going down. He was just at 40 Vils. Now he's at 32.
That's a shame. Starting to look really good for Tabben now, and don't forget these Cav are on steroids right now. The longer this goes on, 32 Vils. Finally we see that stable and Cossacks doing some work, but. Yeah, this is going to be rough, I think. I mean, you just never know. Like I said, if he takes a good fight.
God, look at that wall of hussars, though, Lion.
Yeah. He's going to try and drag box, bring the recruits to the front, and then he's going to put them on melee. But surely there's not nice Cossacks coming around from the side flank there. But again, there's still musketeers. There's still anti-cav there. There's a lot of recruits coming in. He needs to put them in melee. Instead, he's moving them forward to try and put them into a kind of pseudo melee.
But is this not the most ideal engagement for British longbows? They have not been disrupted this entire fight. They've just been sitting back there, pouring in DPS, and look at how fast these ruskets are falling to the combined fire.
Yeah, longbows just they're like machine guns when they can just stand there and fire. That 1.5 fire rate, they just melt recruits, and you can see there that's exactly what they're doing.
All that abuse, and there are still 2 hussars left alive.
Yeah. I mean, Russia, that was as good as it could have gone for Russia, honestly. That's as good as it could have gone. But again, if Russia, they need that food income right now, which unfortunately they lost so many Vils because they need to be pumping in Strelets and all sorts just to hold on here. He's trying desperately to put another blockhouse down just so he can get that extra bit of defensive play. Cossacks coming in, and there's not that many musketeers, but there's enough to deter them, I think.
Yeah.
And it's still going to, I mean, I don't know. Russia can still hold on. There's reinforcements coming in. If some of them are hussars, which they are,
I think this is a really smart. I think Tabben staying here and just continuing to fight is such a smart play for him because he's not allowing Russia to regroup. He's not allowing him to get back on his feet. He's still continuing to pick off Vils. Now only 29 Vils for Russia. Might even be able to pick up 1 or 2 more, and he's desperately trying to get that blockhouse down. And meanwhile, oh man, he's just taking so much damage here. More Cossacks coming in though from the back.
But 3 blockhouses all doing some damage now. So he's got to deal with 3 blockhouses, and he needs to be careful. I was going to say, don't be in the firing line of all 3. You need to get kind of that northern peninsula and just so you're only tanking 2 outpost shots. Because if you start tanking 3 outpost shots, you're in dangerous territory there.
Yeah, I mean, that would maybe be the time to retreat. But he also knows there's another huge batch of villagers in one of these blockhouses, and he's going to take 1 down for sure. I mean,
one's going down. 26
he's up by
Vils,
6,000 score though, Lion.
Yeah, 26 Vils for Russia compared to 45. It's over.
Yeah.
It's already dead.
We're gonna watch the cleanup. And is it just me, or has the speed been slowly improving? I don't
know. I don't know, man. This game. Apparently it's memory leak, so there needs to be a restart after this game.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I mean, this might be the series, right? Depending on who won game 3. Because, I mean, it certainly looks like Tabben is going to take this game, and that would put him up at 3-0, and depending on the result of game 3, and there it is. Conqueror has
GG.
resigned.
GG,
Man.
well played. And with that, Baron, do we still know yet
I
whether
do
or not?
know who won game 3, first of all. But second of
Oh,
all,
okay.
I've also gotten the recording for game 3 working.
Oh.
So it's, I don't know. Do you want the
Do we just
the
treat game
answer,
3
or
as
do you wanna
game
try
4
to
then?
watch?
Yeah, let's do it.
That was a huge fight that we were about to see. I kind of want to play it out.
Yeah, because we'll zoom up to where it was. Right. Okay, but for starters, before we go into the next game, it needs to, the whole slow-mo thing needs to be resolved. So maybe Streletsy needs to, if you can restart your game, I think that helps. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. It's already 8 o'clock.
I mean,
Can
if we have the recording, we shouldn't have problems.
No. And if the next series, are they starting?
I told them to wait for a sec.
Okay, I think do we rather want the recordings?
So Streletsy, I was saying that so I don't get the slow-mo bug. So if you're down, we can maybe swap series, and I can do this one while you try to get this fixed for the next series. But it's up to you. Okay. So how about I can take over now then? So we can maybe just swap. If you stop streaming, and I can just hop right in, and it shouldn't be a problem. All right, let's try that.